This video is for those of you that are thinking of starting your own Council Watch YouTube channel, to encourage you to do so and also to give you some guidelines to help you on your way. So before we go into exactly what is involved in having a Council Watch YouTube channel, let's first have a quick look at the why it's a good idea to do it. So few people know how their council is run, even who their councillor is properly, what their views and opinions are. Council Watch in its essence is basically video highlights of what's been happening at the council from their meetings. Now these meetings can be anywhere from an hour to 4 hours long depending on your council, and most people simply don't have the time or inclination to sit through all of that. So having a highlights video keeps everyone up to date in your local area, and if there's something brewing that people don't like, they get a chance to stop it earlier. It also enables people to really see the personalities and viewpoints of the councillors they voted for, because few of us know exactly who we've really voted for. Also, Council Watch raises awareness to people that haven't voted. In Colchester, nearly 70% didn't bother, and that simply isn't good enough. When such a small percentage of people have voted for our council, they don't really represent the views of the whole. And when people do see how councils are run, hopefully it'll encourage more people to become councillors. It's this lack of knowledge that has got us in the state that we are in. Our biggest battle isn't what's being done to us. It's the collective apathy that's allowing it, the few being allowed to dictate to the masses, and it's high time that was reversed. And we don't have much time. Councils everywhere are either being amalgamated into bigger institutions, which makes it even harder for you to have your say and get them to listen, or they are going bankrupt, which means the receivers are running them and they will make decisions based on finances alone and not what is best for the people. So in order to turn this around peacefully, we must take action now. We need to get out of this political system into a people-based system. And yes, that does mean every single one of us rolling up our sleeves and playing our part. Because if we don't, every right and freedom that we currently have will soon be gone. And we cannot allow that to happen. So those of you that are willing to run a Council Watch channel, what exactly is involved? Well, that's entirely up to you how you run it. Just because I do the talking head to the camera doesn't mean to say you have to if you're camera shy. Editing down the meetings into watchable format is all that's really required. You don't need to give an opinion unless you so wish to. I do it to try and help steer the councillors and get them thinking in a different way. The most time-consuming part is working out which clips to play, because you want to get the essence of the meeting without all the boring bits, and at the same time you don't want to misrepresent anybody with the clips that you play. So that's the hardest part. But in the next video I'll show you some software that does actually make that a lot easier. But the key thing to consider is your main goals you wish to achieve with Council Watch, and they may be different depending on your area. So I'll talk you through what ours in Colchester are, and perhaps they can be the basis of guidelines for you where you are. Now, we are very lucky in Colchester. We have a lot of really good councillors. We may not agree with their points of view, but they're good people trying their best, and I know not every council has that, certainly by the comments I get and from what I've witnessed in councils in other regions. So because we have so many good ones, what we are trying to do is to reach them and give them more education beyond what they are getting from the council officers. Because we feel if good people have good information, they're more likely to make good decisions. But you might have a lot of really bad councillors that need to go. So you need to highlight that in the videos. And to be honest, you don't need to say anything, you just need to show a few clips of them and just let them run with it. You know, give them more rope, let them speak. You don't have to say a word. We often get comments where people say, vote them all out. Well, okay, who are we going to replace them with? I don't know 51 people that have the time or are even willing to be a councillor, let alone the skill set to do it. And is replacing one set of well-meaning people with another set of well-meaning people who don't have experience. How well's that going to go with the financial situations of the vast majority of councils? It's not. You need people that really understand business as well as doing the right thing for the people. So here at Colchester, we are not political. We do not care what colour rosette someone wants to pin on their personage. It's irrelevant. Politics to us is just another layer that gets in the way, because the councillors are serving their political parties ahead of the people that have voted for them, and that's simply not good enough. So in our minds, politics needs to go, and we want to encourage the councillors to become independent, and we will fund them. We will crowd raise to fund any councillor who wishes to run as an independent, so they've got the freedom to truly represent the people. And we hope by so doing, more people will be encouraged to run as councillors. So the unwritten rules that I have is that I will not say something on camera that I would not say to the person's face. So yes, whilst I do mock some of the things councillors say, I try not to mock them. So it's attacking their point of view, not the person, because we want to have a good relationship. We want to encourage change. So obviously, if you need to get shot of most of your council, your efforts are going to be very much focused on getting awareness and getting people in your local area willing to run for council themselves. Whereas with us, because we're trying to work with our councillors, ours is all about education. But that said, the whole of the Council Watch channel is about education, because we need people to be aware of what's going on in the world, what isn't being put into mainstream media, so that they can see a clearer picture of what is happening. Now, I know a lot of people out there want to grab people by the scruff of the neck and shake them into wakefulness, saying, you've got to know what's going on in the world down to every last detail. But the problem with that approach is, one, people are unlikely to believe you, and also it can put people in a state of complete paralysis when they see that they are staring down the barrel of a shotgun. If the vast majority of people were to witness someone trying to abduct a child, do they need to know every single last gruesome detail of what would be done to that child in order to get them to take action? No, they instinctively know that's bad and that it's not going to be a good outcome for that child. They don't need to know every last detail. And that is how I feel with a lot of what's happening in the world. We just need to raise awareness. Now, if by so doing, people do start to research for themselves, great. But also the power is in doing that research yourself, because if someone had sat me down and told me exactly what is going on, I would have thought they were mad. I would never have believed them. It's only doing that research, trying to prove what I read was incorrect. I didn't believe what I was reading, so I went online and I downloaded the official government documents, the UN documents, and I read through stuff. And I saw it in black and white. Now, these reports are very in-depth. Most people are not going to take the time to read full UN reports. They're not easygoing. But I had to know whether what I was reading was correct or not. But most people were going to roll their eyes. So you're wasting your breath a lot of the time. And also, if you're coming across as completely unhinged, that doesn't help to get your message across. So the people that we're trying to reach with Colchester Council Watch are the ones that they're just the ordinary people that are going around living their lives. They haven't really researched. They know things aren't quite right, but nothing makes sense. They don't know why the world is going in the direction it is. So that's where we put our focus. We don't come at it with anger. We don't come at it with fear. So the types of people we're looking for Council Watch are those of you who are in your own power. You're peaceful, you're calm, you don't have the anger and the fear that so many people have, because what we want to do is show the way. Lead by example, to encourage them to make better decisions, to make sure that they are better informed about what is happening in the world, without going into every last gruesome detail of it. We don't need a nation of paralysed, fearful people. We need motivated, aware people that are capable of taking action and say, enough is enough. No, we're not having this anymore. Now, I know for some it might be very tempting to use the channel as an opportunity to point score and really have a go at the councillors. And if that is your mission, fine, do whatever you want to do, but I would request that you don't call it Council Watch, you call it something else, because there is enough nastiness in the world right now. We don't need more. We need to lead by example and show people we can have a difference of opinion and still get on. And we can have honour and integrity, and we don't need to be so nasty and vile to one another just because we disagree on things. So when you've set up your Council Watch YouTube channel, if you email us at colchestercouncilwatch@gmail.com, I can link you up with our Telegram group where all of the Council Watches are sharing information. And having all of the Council Watch groups working together, we can pool our resources and knowledge. So we've got a list of videos that are suitable for wherever you are in the world. so that will save you doing videos on 5G or whatever, unless you want to, of course, but it saves a lot of time if we are pooling our resources. Now in the next video, I'll walk you through some of the tech applications that will speed up and a few tips on editing and how to prepare the information for a wider audience. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.